السلام عليكم، ازيكم يا شباب؟ عاملين ايه؟ معاكم دكتوره ايمان عبد الله، ماده كوست اكاونتنج 1 سنه ثالثه الترم اول. دي الماده المشتركه مع الدكتور محمد علاء. المفروض دوت لجروب دي. النهارده تعتبر اخر محاضره لينا في المنهج. المره الجايه هتكون ريفيجن، يعني المره الجايه هنراجع بقى على القديم كله. احنا النهارده بنتكلم في الكوست اكاونتنج على شابتر 15. كويك ريفيجن كده، احنا خدنا كام شابتر. دلوقتي بمحاضرة النهارده هيكون 4 شابترز. We have like chapter 2 كنا بنتكلم على accounting، cost accounting terminology و basic assumption، وده كان قبل الميد تيرم. جينا بعد الميد تيرم خدنا شابتر 9 اتكلمنا فيه على cost allocation under variable costing method and absorption costing method. Then we have chapter 10. We introduce in chapter 10 how to calculate cost using high-low method. وكان في chapter 10 عندنا بس first 3 objectives of the chapter. The same for chapter 9 خدنا بس only the first 3 objectives. chapter 2 عندنا info كله على بعض، مفيش أي حاجة exception فيه. chapter 15 وده اللي هنتعرض له النهارده. We are going only to discuss objective number 3 which are related to allocating of support department cost to operating department. How to allocate cost from supporting department to operating department. First of all, any organization contains several departments. When we divide department into support department and operating department. Supporting department, which is called by service department, and operating department are known as production department. When we talk about operating department, are departments that are directly related to producing goods or service. So, operating department are departments that add cost directly to the product, while supporting department, which are service department, the main reason of existence is to support operating department in performing its main function. Supporting department like plant maintenance department, information system department, data entry department, material management, production control. All of these departments' main objective is to support operating department in performing their main function, which is producing goods and service. So, supporting department, we can say that supporting department add cost to production department or add cost to product indirectly. How? Through allocating costs to the operating department. Again, departments inside the firm are divided between supporting department and operating department. Operating department are departments that add value to product directly, while supporting department are departments that provide service or support operating department in performing their main role. So, supporting department will add value to the product indirectly. Like what? Like information system. Information system inside the firm, it doesn't add value to product directly. If you are talking about table production, can information system add value directly or indirectly? Production control, applying a control system over the production process. Does the production control process add value to the production of the table directly or indirectly? Plant maintenance, the maintenance for the whole plant. Does it add value to the production of the table directly or indirectly? So, supporting department add value to the production or add value to the final product or service indirectly. How? Through providing support to the operating departments. How costs are allocated from supporting department to operating department. We have different methods of allocation, different methods that the firm can use in allocating costs from supporting department to production department, but you are only required with step-down method. We have in chapter 15 numerous methods that the firm can choose between in allocating costs from supporting department to production or operating department. But you are only required to apply step-down method, and you are only going to be asked about step-down method. Allocation could be from one support department to other operating department, or from multiple support department to operating department. We are only going to discuss how to allocate costs from multiple support department to operating department using step-down method. When we talk about step-down method is the method that allocates costs from supporting department to operating department in sequence way, like stairs are going downwards of a stair, like stepping down in sequence way, meaning I have first to allocate first support department to the remaining department till I have a zero balance for the first supporting department. Then I will be transferred to the other supporting department in a sequence way. So from Hall's name, sequence or step-down method, costs are allocated from supporting department to operating department in a sequence way, like stepping down stairs. To be able to solve a step-down method, I should determine for you first the allocation base, how the cost will be allocated from supporting department to operating department. Which supporting department will be allocated first? So I should determine to you first which department should be allocated first, and the allocation percentage, how the amount will be allocated from supporting department to operating department. Let's have like an example to how step-down method should be allocated. Here in the given example in front of you, say that an ABC firm have two supporting department and two operating department. So the firm have 4 departments divided between 2 supporting and 2 operating departments. The sequence of allocation saying that the 2 supporting departments are plant maintenance department and information system department. The firm will allocate first costs related to plant maintenance department. So the sequence will be plant maintenance department will allocate costs first on the remaining 3 departments. And when I say the remaining 3 department, meaning that you have information system department, which is supporting department, and you have 2 operating department, which are machinery and assembly. So in step-down department, I will start with plant maintenance department and allocate her cost or X cost on the 3 remaining departments. Why? Because in the example stated, the firm stated that she is going to allocate plant maintenance department costs first. Okay? The total cost in plant maintenance department are $6,300,000 US. I'm going to allocate the $6,300,000 on the 3 departments. With what ratios? What are the ratios of allocation? The example states that the plant maintenance department is going to provide 20% of service to information system, 30% to machining department, and 50% to assembling department. So here I have the 4 departments: plant, maintenance, information system, machinery and assembly. I have costs related to each department. The plant maintenance have 6,300,000. Information system have 1,400,052. Machining have 4 million, assembling have 2 million. These are the total costs available for each department. When I start to allocate according to step-down method, I will start with each department. I will start with plant maintenance department. The total cost available for plant maintenance department are $6,300,000 US. I'm going to allocate them for the 3 remaining departments. When I say 3 remaining departments, I mean the information system department, which is a supporting department. I have operating department, which are machinery and assembling departments. How costs are going to be allocated? Are going to be allocated based on ratios. Which are the ratios given? When we talk about ratios given, you have 20% for information system, 30% for machinery department, and 50% for assembly. Multiply the ratios with the total cost available for plant department, and you will have that information system. You are going to apply 1,260,000 for them. Machining, you are going to allocate 1,890,000 US. Assembling, you are going to allocate 3,150,000 US. After allocating costs for the remaining 3 departments, you are going to have a zero balance for plant maintenance department. So, after having a zero balance for plant maintenance department, you are going to transfer to information system department in a sequential way. Go back to the example. When we talk about information system department, we have 1,452,000, which was the beginning or total cost for information system department, and you have allocated a 1,260,000 allocated from plant maintenance department. So the total cost, the new total cost available for information system is going to be $2,712,150 US. Again, the $2,700,000 US was calculated by calculating the 1,452,000, which was the original cost available for information system, and you added for them the amount allocated from the plant maintenance department, which is the 1,260,000 US. Calculate both amounts. You're going to have $2,712,000 US. The $2,700,000 US is going to be allocated on the remaining 2 departments. Again, we allocate in a sequential way, stepping down, meaning that plant maintenance department cost was allocated on 3 departments. Then we have a zero balance, and the sequence or the step down department is the information system. Cost is going to be allocated on the 2 remaining departments. How the $2,700,000 is going to be allocated on the remaining department? in the example given above, saying that the 2,712,000 is going to be allocated on a basis of 80% for the machining department and 20% for the assembling department. Doing your math, 2,410,000 is going to be allocated to the machining and 310,000 is going to be allocated to the assembly. After making such allocation, you are going to have a zero balance for information system. The machinery or machining department had it like 4 million costs, her original cost, which add value to product in a direct way, and indirect costs received from plant maintenance, which equal to 1,890,000, and 300 or 2,110,000, which is allocated from information system. The same for assembly. The original or the direct cost that add value to the product for assembly department was 2 million. Then she received 3,150,000 from plant maintenance, which add value indirect to the product, and from information system 301,000 US dollar, which add costs indirectly to the product. The total allocated cost for the machining department and total allocated cost for assembling department is 8,300,000 for machining and 5,451,000 for assembly. The total cost allocated for machining and total cost allocated for assembly is the result of what? Is a result of her own cost, which is 4 million and 2 million. Then you added cost allocated from supporting department, from plant maintenance and information department. Okay? So here an example, what we have did is allocating costs from supporting department to costs to operating department. Again, we have allocated costs from supporting department to operating department. Let's have another example and see how to allocate costs from operating department to allocate costs from supporting department to operating department. Here in example 2, we have a fair that have 2 service department and have 2 production department. The supporting department are maintenance department and personal department. The production department are A and B. We have budgeted costs for the 4 departments, production and assembly. And we have the allocation base for maintenance department and the allocation base for personal department. The examples say that the costs related to maintenance department is allocated based on maintenance hour, while the personal department allocation base will be based on number of employees. You are required that applying the step-down method, what are the amount of maintenance cost that is going to be allocated to Department A? If service department allocation base will be based on highest percentage. So, the example is asking you how much cost is going to be allocated from maintenance department to production department A. If the allocation base under step-down method is the department or the support department of the highest with the highest percentage is going to be allocated first. To solve the example, we have to do two steps. The first step is to determine which support department have the highest allocation percentage. Then state the amount to be allocated from supporting department from the maintenance department to production department number A. Again, to solve the example, I will have to determine first which support department has the highest percentage. Why? Because the example states that the department with the highest percentage is going to be the department to allocate first. Here, he didn't give me the allocation percentage for maintenance department and the allocation percentage for personnel department. So, I will need to calculate the allocation percentage. To calculate the allocation percentage, I will need to calculate the total or the allocation for personnel department divided by total allocation amount. Meaning that here, when I talk about budget maintenance hour, saying that for personnel department I have 400 maintenance hour. Allocated for personnel department, I have 480 hours allocated to production department A, and I have 320 hours allocated to production department B. To reach the allocation percentage, I'm going to divide the 400 maintenance hour by the total maintenance hour given. So I'm going to divide the 400 hour by the total maintenance hour given, which is 400 plus 480 plus 320. Do your math, you reach about 33.3%, which is the allocation percentage. I will do the same step for personnel department. When I talk about personnel department, I will allocate that amount given from personnel department to maintenance department. The allocation base for from personnel department to maintenance department will be based on number of employees. Amount allocated or number of employees allocated from personnel department to maintenance department is 20 employees. I need to calculate the percentage, so I'm going to divide amount allocated to maintenance department, which is 20 employees, by the total amount allocated. The total amount allocated is 20 employees to maintenance, 80 employees to production department A, and 240 to production department B. Calculating 20 by the total allocated amount, I will reach about 5.9 allocation percentage. So, maintenance department had 33%, while personnel department had 5.9%. Which of them have the highest allocation percentage? Maintenance or personnel? One has 33%, while the other is 5.9%, and the firm states that the one of the highest percentage is the one that is going to be allocated first. So I'm going to allocate maintenance department first. So the maintenance department is the department with the highest percentage of allocation. So I'm going to allocate them first. First step you did is to determine which department has the highest allocation percentage. Then I'm going to state the amount allocated to production department. We will reach the same problem. I didn't give you the percentage of allocation, but I gave you the maintenance hour allocated. So, to determine amount with the total cost allocated for product department, I will calculate the percentage allocated to product department. How? I'm going to divide machine hour allocated to production department with the total machine hour allocated to other 3 departments. Meaning that I'm going to divide 480 machine hour allocated to department A with total machine hour allocated to the 3 departments to reach a percentage. Then the ratio given, I'm going to multiply it by 160,000 US dollars. Do your math? Divide 480 machine hour, which is the amount our machine hour maintenance hour allocated to product department A, with total maintenance hour allocated with the 3 department, and multiply the result with total cost of maintenance department, which is 160 US dollar. We reach that 64,000 US dollar, which is the cost allocated to department A. So the answer will be letter D. Here you have the explanation how the math was done, and you can repeat it again by yourself at home to see if you are going to receive the same result or not. This is an example. Let's see another example how to apply a step-down method. In example number 3, I have the same idea. You have 2 support department and 2 production department. Support department or warehouse department and data center department. Production department, you have music department and books department. The budget cost for the 3 departments are 175,000 to warehouse, 75,000 to data center, 125,000 to music, and 150 to books. The same, the warehouse costs are allocated based on warehouse hours for data center, music, and books. The data center department costs are allocated based on computer hours, which are warehouse computer hours to warehouse department, music, and books. And the first question he is asking you, how much of cost is going to be allocated from data center to warehouse? If the allocation base is based on percentage of allocation, the firm with the highest percentage of allocation is the firm which is going to be allocated first. How much is going to be allocated from warehouse to data center? In this example, I'm going to see which one of them has the highest allocation percentage, the warehouse or the data center. As we did in the previous example, I'm going to calculate the allocation percentage for the warehouse and data center. When I'm talking about the warehouse, I'm going to divide 250 warehouse hours with total warehouse given. So I'm going to divide 250 warehouse hours with total warehouse given, which is 250 plus 500 plus 750. You're going to receive 60% or 60.7%. Do the same for data center. I'm going to divide the 100 computer hours with total computer hours for the 3 departments. I'm going to receive 10%. Which one of them has the highest percentage, 16 or 10? 16.7% is higher than 10%. So the warehouse department has the highest allocation base. So the warehouse department is going to be allocated first. And we say you apply step down, meaning sequential way, meaning that the warehouse is going to apply cost on them first. Then data center will apply on the remaining production department, meaning I'm going forward, like stepping down, not backward. So warehouse is going to provide cost to data center, music and box, and data center is going to provide to music and box. So data center is not going to provide warehouse with any costs because we're applying the step down method. So cost provided from data center to warehouse is zero cost. Why? Because we're applying step down, and warehouse is going to apply cost first till it reaches to zero balance. Then data center is going to provide cost second to the remaining production department, and data center is not going to provide the warehouse with any costs at all. Okay? So this is the answer for the first question. The cost allocated from data center to warehouse is zero cost. The second question is asking you, what is the amount of warehouse department cost that's going to be allocated to music department cost? To answer such a question, I don't have the allocation ratio. So I'm going to calculate the allocation ratio. How? I'm going to divide 500 warehouse hours provided from the supporting department warehouse to the music department. The 500 divided by total cost allocated. So divided by 250 plus 500 plus 750. After making the calculation, I would multiply the result by the total warehouse cost, meaning that the ratio given 500 hours divided by 250 plus 500 plus 750, and the result multiplied by the total cost of warehouse, which is 175,000. The result is going to be 58,333 US dollar. Which answer, the correct answer, is going to be letter E. The three examples on a step-down method is not difficult. Maybe it's a little bit weird for you. The only solution is you have to solve it more than one time by yourself. Again, a step-down method, from its name, stepping down, like stepping down the stairs in a sequential way. You are going downward, not upward. So after finishing a cost, you are going to transfer to the another department cost. After reaching a zero balance, you are going to transfer to the another department. Again, here in chapter 15, we are going about cost allocation between supporting department to operating department. The only allocation base you are required in chapter 15 is a step-down method. Again, we are only going to take objective 3 from chapter 15, which is talking about cost allocation for multiple support department to operating department using step-down method, applying in a sequential way. We have introduced 3 examples about cost allocation method and saying that the firm, or I have to state in the example for you to be able to solve it, which department is going to be allocated first and the allocation base, the ratios used in allocation. When I'm allocating from supporting department to operating department, I have to finish the supporting department costs till I reach to zero balance before transferring to another department. the 3 examples. I'm only requiring you to repeat them again. Try to solve them by yourself again at home and see how easy it will be for you. The allocation base in a sequent way. Again, I have to reach a zero balance for the first support department before transferring to the second supporting department. I have to determine for you the allocation base which is going to be allocated first to be able to do your math. Why I have to do or I have to state for you the allocation base? Because if you start with personal department and allocate them first based on the suggestion, you will have different results. So different allocation base will reach to different results. Again, till now, how many chapters we have been introduced during the year? During our cost accounting 1, we have 4 chapters. Chapter 2, and you are required to study chapter 2 in full. All the objectives presented in the chapter, you are obligated to study them. There is no exception in chapter 2. Then in chapter 9, we have only introduced the first 3 chapters, which are related about cost allocation under absorption method and current rate under variable costing method. Then chapter 10, we have also the first 3 objectives, which about a cost under high and low method. Then chapter 15, which I have introduced it to you today, you are only required with objective 3, which is related with allocating costs between support and operating department using the step-down method. Next time will be our final lecture for the whole course for the term. In this lecture, we are going to introduce you with some true-false MCQ, and it will be like a revision on the whole course. If you have any question, make your notes on the whole course and bring it to us in the next lecture next week to discuss it in a live lecture, and I will try to present you a group of true-false MCQ about the whole course, about the main tricky questions you could face in the final exam, and I introduce you how like a step-down method could face you in the exam in the form of true-false, how it could be, how you're going to be asked about step-down method in the exam in the form of true-false or multiple choice, how it's going to be presented to you in the final exam. And as we say each lecture, if you have a question, please don't hesitate to ask. Take your notes and ask me about it in the live lecture next week, and it's going to be our final lecture for the whole course. And I hope you was able to understand today's lecture and the topic wasn't very difficult to you and it was easy. And as I said before, take your notes, repeat again the 3 examples I have introduced today. Again, solve it by your own self, and if it's difficult, we're going to discuss it next lecture. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.